What's going on? Welcome to the Born Money Show. It's your host, Mr. Born Money, here to help you stay calm, print money, and have life on your terms. Now, I wanted to continue with the part two of the beginning your journey to financial freedom. Now, what I want to do is clearly communicate that this is not financial advice by any means whatsoever. All I'm doing is sharing what's worked for me, some of the investment principles that I've learned over the years, and this is for pure entertainment purposes. If you're seeking financial advice, or if you have issues with your own portfolio, seek a financial advisor, somebody who's licensed and who's qualified to be able to meet you at your unique needs. This is just for educational purposes and entertainment purposes only. So in the last episode, I covered essentially the importance of just having a longer time horizon and thinking in 2, 5, and 10-year time blocks when it comes to your financial goals and your financial goal, like where you want to be in wealth building, right? And then we also dived into really the importance of cleaning up your credit, making sure you have good credit, making sure you fix your income, fix your expenses and increase your income, so that you can start setting aside money that you can use to invest, pay down debt, and ultimately start to learn and also invest in educating yourself on different asset classes, having conversations, buying courses, and really investing in your development, right? So that initial amount of capital that you're setting aside should be invested in the SME 500, right? Investing in you to develop your skills, to develop your knowledge, to develop competence, so that you can make better decisions and know what would be the best fit for you, right? So early on for me, once I kind of got to that stage where I was setting money aside and starting to build my savings, I was then investing a ton of money into just learning from other people, right? Investing money into day trading courses, into different things, learning options, cover puts, shorts, and really understanding the market and joining communities of people who are on the same journey. And it's one of the best things that's ever happened to me, just being around people who have that mindset. Because one of the most important things that you can do for yourself when you're beginning your journey to financial freedom is surrounding yourself with people who have the same mindset, who are levels and years ahead of you, that want to accomplish the same things, right? I wasn't fortunate enough to grow up around people who had the mindset, who knew how to use money, who understood money, the flows of money, who understood the importance of debt. You know, my mom is absolutely incredible. She raised 4 boys by herself, but she never taught us about finances. She never taught us about credit. She never taught us about expense management. She never taught us about budgeting or anything like that. Because one, she was too busy just trying to survive and make sure that we had everything that we needed. So that's one of the things that I had to learn the hard way and learn on my own. And that's one of the reasons why I want to make sure that I'm putting out episodes like this where we talk about those things, where you unpack those things and you start to really understand, right? The other thing that you need to do is also buy books, read books, right? One of the best books that I read on is like Think and Grow Rich, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, The Banker's Code, The Wealth Code, Money Secrets, Money Mindsets, The Psychology of Money. And there's so many more that, I mean, I have an entire reading list. You know what I might actually end up doing is in the show notes, I'll include a link to download like my reading list for wealth, you know, all the different books that I've read that I found really, really helpful. So we'll go ahead and do that for you guys. Because as you start to begin your journey and you start to take actionable steps towards one, reducing your debt, increasing your credit score, and starting to educate yourself, you also want to get plugged into a community. One of the most powerful multipliers that I've talked about before is knowledge and proximity, right? Getting the right information at the right time and being around the right people will allow you to make progress faster than anything else on this planet. I guarantee it. All my success and all the opportunities that I've had have come as a result of acquiring the right knowledge and being around the right people, an opportunity just finds itself flowing to me, mainly because I'm getting plugged into communities of like-minded people who want the same thing. And if I'm focused on adding value to that community and learning as much as I can, so I can become more valuable to the community. And by giving, I'm also receiving, right? So one of the most important things for you, for those guys who are listening and for you who are serious, is start investing in your education, right? Start investing in hiring mentors, working with people and learning from those who are further ahead from you, right? And getting around other like-minded individuals who have similar goals. What's going on? I wanted to take this time to quickly interrupt this video or this podcast. If you found this helpful and you're interested in getting started investing on the blockchain, we have an incredible program called the Born Money System inside of our Wealth Sanctum. What we do is we'll guarantee you'll produce cash flow within the first 30 days of setting up your first digital cash flowing real estate on the blockchain, or you don't pay. So if you're interested in that, there'll be a link somewhere in the show notes for you to be able to apply and schedule a free strategy session where we can look at your portfolio, look at your financials, and figure out what would be the best and most efficient way to deploy capital on the blockchain to guarantee cash flow. Hope to see you on the inside. Back to the show. So I can't stress the importance of that. That's really the next thing, right? As you start to take these things seriously, is like really finding the community. You're already kind of making steps by listening to this podcast, but go ahead and join the Wealth Builder community on Facebook. And if you want hands-on learning and things like that, you can reach out to me and see what it will look like for us to jump on consulting sessions and things like that around finances. You know, I don't give that away for free. So I have a lot of free information and things like that. So if you want my time to educate and teach you, it's not cheap. But it is a way for you to begin learning from somebody who's likely further ahead from you and who has information that you may not have otherwise. And then learning from other YouTubers and people who are recording podcast episodes like this and just kind of immersing yourself in that field. The other thing is understanding success principles, right? So as you start to have these things and you're taking action and you're working on these things, is having success principles. Now, the reason why I say principles and not methodology is because a man who relies on methods will never be able to sustain the results that they get. The man who operates based on principles will always be able to adapt to a changing environment. So understanding like investment principles, success principles, and understanding like different things when it comes to making decisions, having decision-making frameworks and principles that you use to guide the decisions that you make with your money is going to be very, very helpful, right? Because that's a part of developing a muscle that's going to help you succeed long-term. So that's one of the things I wanted to dive into. Today's going to be like really a short and sweet episode where I just want to talk about like part 2 is really plugging into a community, investing in your knowledge, and really starting to develop principles that serve you long-term, right? So for me, one of the principles that I live by is never sacrifice long-term satisfaction for short-term pleasure. Right. This principle has served me so well in business, in personal life, in my marriage, and finances, because a lot of people do the inverse. They sacrifice long-term satisfaction for short-term pleasure. Right. And so for me, that's one of the things that I want to operate with, because I know even with my money, if I'm thinking, well, if I make this short-term sacrifice, what is the impact on the long-term vision? Right? Is it going to long-term help me get closer to my goals, or is it actually going to take away from it? In business, when we're making decisions and trying to get our clients results and things like that, we're thinking we could produce short-term results, but is that going to affect our reputation long-term? Right? So we'd rather, if I need to give somebody a refund, I'd rather give them refund, suffer the short-term discomfort of refunding, but then keeping the long-term reputation about my brand and my company intact, right? That's a mindset and that's a mentality of that principle. Short-term, never sacrifice long-term satisfaction for short-term pleasure, right? And so having a longer time horizon allows you to think in that way, thinking about your reputation, think about your goals, thinking about your journey and ultimately where you want to end up, what are the short-term sacrifices that you need to make that's going to allow you to achieve long-term satisfaction? So thinking through those things and thinking, what are the short-term things that you're indulging in now that are not serving you long-term, right? Are there people that you're around that make you feel like you have to spend so much money just to kind of keep up, right? Are there those who, any chance they get, when you're talking about your goals and when you're talking about, you want to be frugal financially and you're trying to set yourself up for success financially, are they putting you down any time they get, right? What are the bad influences on you and things like that? So thinking through what are like the things that what am I doing short term that's impacting my long-term goals, and slowly start to cut those things out and slowly start to eliminate those things so you can focus on doing the things that are going to create long-term satisfaction in your life, right? And that is a mindset of everyone that I know who's truly successful and has a great reputation, right? There are those out there who are successful with a terrible reputation because their success has been built on short-term pleasure, short-term satisfaction, no matter the long-term consequences, right? So thinking about educating yourself, surrounding yourself with the right people, and developing decision-making frameworks and principles that you can live by that's going to help you make progress towards your goals. So wanted to share that. Hope you found it helpful. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next episode. If you found this video helpful, chances are you're going to find a ton of value in our Boring Money community, where I'm in there live, actively sharing articles, market updates, and just educating you on what's going on in the market real time. So if you don't want to wait for another one of these episodes or another video training to come out, and you want to have live updates on what's happening in the market, go ahead and join the Boring Money community, where you can have access to us and be able to ask any questions that you want, and potentially even get featured in an episode. Till next time, hope to see you on the inside.